A very warm good morning to everyone present here. I, Anshika Jaswal, along with my team members Aditi Sharma, Rishabh Dubey, Nikit Kumar Nema, Sakshi Pandey, and Sonal Chandra, are grateful for this wonderful case and opportunity to present it. I would like to start this case with a quote that a lie keeps growing and growing until it is clear. And this is what exactly happened with Satyam also. And if we use our lies as an instrument to grow, it will harm us in long run. And since then, the beginning of this great fall has been started. And now let's follow the trail and understand the case from very beginning. And for that, I would like to call Sakshi on EDIS.
Anshika, please change the slide. Let's start from the basic. Satyam means truth, but ironically, the MD and chairman of Satyam, they did. Satyam means truth, but what the manager and MD of Satyam did was against the truth that leads Satyam from crown jewel to the grounds. Satyam was known as the crown jewel of Indian IT industry as it has rapid growth and became leading IT industry in the country and also known as the rising star of Indian IT sector. Satyam was India's fourth largest IT company with high profile customers and it covers huge market share with almost 66 countries with 53,000 employees. It offers consulting, IT, and outsourcing services. Satyam was also known as India's Enron. In India, Satyam's scandal was compared to Enron's scandal. In year 2001, USA-based energy company Enron has manipulated its figures and has reduced its debt and does not share its its information to its shareholders and other investor and board members, and this was the biggest scandal of that time. That's why Satyam was compared to in Enron's scandal. Anshika, please change the slide. Let's discuss the rise of Satyam. In year 1987, Satyam was established in Hyderabad by Mr. Ramlinga Raju, the founder and chairman of Satyam Enterprise. And initially, he started his enterprise with only 20 employees. In year 1991, Satyam was listed in Bombay Stock Exchange with IPO oversubscribed and was converted to public limited company. In 2001, Satyam was listed in New York Stock Exchange. In 2003, Satyam grew rapidly and has annual and its revenue reaches to 4,000 billion and its CAG, that is corporate accounting growth rate, reaches to 6.4% and it started with 13,000 technical associates with 300 employees worldwide. And from 2000 to 2003, Satyam grew rapidly and witnessed a strong growth. Its operating profit reaches to 21%, its CAG reaches to 40%, and its share price within 5 years, the share price has improved almost 300%. In 2003, the price of shares were rupees 138, and in the end of 2008, the price of shares reaches to 547 rupees. And let's talk about the achievements. Satyam won many awards for its good corporate governance and internal audit. In 2007, Satyam received award from Ernst and Young, Mr. from Young and Young for the Entrepreneur of the Year. In 2008, MJ Consultant awarded Satyam for Leader in Accounting and Corporate Governance. In September 2008, World Council for Corporate Governance awarded Satyam with Golden Peacock Award for good governance. Now that's all from my side. I will call my friend Anshika to continue further.
Thank you, Sakshi. So let's first understand how this case got unfolded. So as this case, Ramalinga Raju himself confessed everything in his letter of regret, and after fooling the stakeholder for approximately 7 to 9 years, the question arises: what has changed? What has he thought that has changed his concise, or was there any other reason for this confession? So, if we talk about riding the tiger, so it all started with manipulating the books of accounts, and since then there was no going back. And what he basically did was he cooked the company's books of account. Satyam's top management inflated the profits, and they also overstated the revenues in order, and they did for every quarter for approximately 5 years, from 2003 to 2008. And then they projected a very rosy picture by manipulating the books of accounts so that it looked that the enterprise is way bigger than it actually was. And they also introduced various fictitious clients, and they also put various false invoices in order to record the sales. And then the ghostly clients and the bills, and since all those ghostly clients, all those fictitious clients never shown up and they never paid their bills. And then the gap between the actual profit and book profit has been increased. And all these, and to plug this hole, they increase their data. Right. And so the next thing comes up, why did they needed money? Okay, so Satyam was planning to acquire a stake in Metas infrastructure and Metas infrastructure and Metas properties, in which Ramalinga Raju already had a stake of 37% and 35% respectively. And that shows that he was interested in a real estate sector, and he was diverting the funds from Satyam to Metas. And now let's talk about the actual truth of what has been shown in the balance sheet. He inflated the cash and bank balances, and also the accrued interest. What accrued interest over here is that he have earned this interest somewhere, and he said that we will be receiving this interest, but this interest was also a false hope for all the investors. And he said that they didn't had any liability, but there was a liability of 1,230 crores. And as I said that they overplugged they for to cover the gap, they plugged the datas. They said they'll be receiving 490 crores, but it was also a mere hope. And then they inflated the revenues to 588 crores, and the operating profit was actually 61 crore, but they inflated it to 649 crores, creating a difference by 588 crores. Now let's talk about promoter shareholding. So in this case, in the March, as you can see, the promoter shareholding was significantly decreasing, and this was also one should have checked that since the promoter shareholding was decreasing, there must be something fishy going on in the company, so that promoters are withdrawing their stake. But since nobody noticed, investor didn't notice it. And then this decreasing shareholding pattern was also one of the reasons that there was a threat that company could be taken over. And what they did with their significant decreasing also state that in a case study, it is mentioned that they have pledged their share in order to meet the regular requirements of the company. So that is the reason their shareholder pattern was decreasing. And what did he actually plan? He planned to cover up by by taking by sorry he planned that he will buy real estate stake and he will sell it in the inflated price, and from that earning he will cover up all the gaps. And for that, he also tried to purchase Metas infrastructure and Metas properties. And as we know that Satyam and Metas are related companies. And Metas is nothing but, if we read from left to right, it's Satyam. And if we read from right to left, it's Metas. And for that, they use a tunneling strategy. Tunneling is basically an illegal and unethical practice in which what they do, they try to do they try to purchase that company, that is Metas infrastructure and properties, through a self-dealing process. And but all this that they have planned eventually didn't went that way they actually thought. And what actually happened was investors started selling their stake because investors thought that Satyam is planning to sip out the cash from Satyam and they want to invest in a company in which Raju has quite a big stake. And then the further lawsuit occurred against Satyam that investor in the US were also not okay with this dealing, that they want to purchase Metas infrastructure without asking the investor about this dealing. They were not keeping the transparency over here, and the World Bank banned Satyam for 8 years because of inappropriate payments, and they didn't provide the necessary invoices supporting their evidence of the financial statement. And then after the independent director resigned, after the critic that has been received from World Bank, the independent director, the four of the independent director simultaneously, for the one independent director has resigned, and following that, the three independent director also resigned. And then after that, the SEBI asked company, that is Satyam, to disclose their pledge share to the stock exchange. And then he knew that they couldn't continue it to further. And then he confessed. And now I'd like to call Aditi on the e-dais.
Okay, thank you, Anshika. Now, talking about why he committed fraud. Anshika, change the slide. Okay. So now we are talking about why he committed fraud. So first point is greed. Mr. Ramalinga Raju and nine other become so greedy. So they did so. Then second point is lack of transparency. Ramalinga Raju and PwC did not maintain any transparency, and they hide many such information with their auditors, SEBI, and shareholders. Third point is ambitious corporate growth. So they increases their figures by themselves and showed a lot of boost of to the growth of the company. Then maintaining stock prices, they did not have much cash but to maintain their goodwill, they did a lot of pretense. Fourth point. Fifth point is meeting expectations. To meet expectations of investors, they showed more assets and less liability, so the investor invest in their companies. And the sixth point is weak independent director and audit committees. Because of PwC took money from twice. Money from Ramalinga Raju, so he supported in every unethical decision, and they both work secretly to run their company. Then auditors contribution. As we all know, global auditing firm PwC audited Satyam books from June 2000 until the discovery of the fraud 2009. Here, PwC failed to detect fraud because they found guilty of collaborating to inflate the company revenue income tax returns, and sent for 7 years imprisonment by Hyderabad court, and also penalized by SEBI for their involvement in the fraud. Then was paid twice. PwC still admits to having playing no part in the execution of this scandal, but a small detail recently reviewed that a case could not completely different. Satyam paid twice. Twice amount any other firm paid to its auditing firm. Then the third point is auditors did not verify company statement. Satyam explained to have on its balance sheet in not interest bearing deposits, and according to professional accounting professional, any reasonable company would have either invested the money into an interest bearing account or returned the excess cash to the shareholders. Then the fourth point is Merrill Lynch discovered fraud. PwC audited the company nearly for 9 years, but not uncovered the fraud. But Merrill Lynch discovered the fraud as a part of its due diligence merely in 10 days. Then missed red flags. Here, red flags refers to the re-verification, but the auditors did not pay any attention to the re-verification. That's why they missed red flags. Thank you. Now rest, Sonal will continue.
Thank you, Aditi. Now I'm going to carry on with my topic, consequences of scandal. Here I let you know that why license was revoked. As per the Ramalinga confessed his fraud, and immediately the news spread in the fluent way. Merrill Lynch was the first who terminates his engagement with Satyam scandal by knowing that there's some sort of fault in this company. Now the Satyam will credit Sui will also coverage its suspend its coverage from Satyam, that they know that they're gonna have some sort of illegal facts. Now after 9 years, Satyam came into the light. SEBI and its order has found PwC guilty, and they have bared their network issues, which gonna entire its issuing audit to any listed companies. So that was the reason why license was revoked. Now I'm gonna let you know about the shares price fall. The shares fell to rupees 11.50, which is the lowest value since from 1980, and the as compared to the highest value 544 in 2008. On 16th, I'm going to let you show you in a graph that there are fall from grace that on 16th December, Satyam, along with her investors and management, take a decision that they're gonna buy a 1.6 billion Maitas infrastructure. That they're gonna on without any consultation with their shareholders, they just took a decision. But within an hour, they're gonna trade within management and the lawsuit in US. Now on 17th December, they're gonna had a debate on this topic about the corporate governance. Now on 23 December, World Bank confirmed that while doing business with the 8 years, they're gonna have improper benefits with their shareholders. Now on 5th January, they're gonna renew it with corporate governance and there was share decline. Now, now at last, but not the least, on 7 Jan, Raja resigned as a chairman and administering this falsifying company account shares, which plus to 78%. As Raju revealed about the accounting fraud, new board members were going to appoint and to prevent the collapse of firm. The Indian government immediately start investigation and they also shows that there are limit short of participation in their company with Satyam, and they would and because they want to show that they are not responsible for this and they are not covering up. So they have a hashtag, they have a aim, they have a goal that to hire the board members and to sell the company within in 100 days. So that was the within the company. Now in the mid of March, the players gonna confident that they're gonna auction process with the SEBI, and the SEBI just hire the Justice Barucha for the process auction process of several of this Satyam scandal. Now the Tech Mahindra and SEBI were all gone aware with this fraud, and they wanna realize that they would have no more investigation. Now as a part of Tech Mahindra, Satyam will go ahead with a bright future because Tech Mahindra took over 51% of share to get fully collapsed, to get covering the company from fully collapse. Now I'm going to mark my words with two more lines that India can do anything. India can minimize with the right changes. India can minimize its rate in any sort of Indian capital market. Thank you. That's from my side. Now request Nikki to go ahead.
Thank you, Sonal. Now I'm going to talk about the investigation. The special CBI court has investigated the Satyam case and also constituted a team called Multidisciplinary Investigation Team to investigate the case. The team worked hard and achieved success within a short span of time. To discuss more, we should know who were the criminals, who were the victims, and what were the charges. So who were the criminals? The revelation of the fraud has led to changes against several different groups of people involved in the Satyam case. Mr. Ramalinga Raju, who was the founder and chairman of the company, he has confessed that he had inflated the balance sheet of the company. And Mr. Raju's brother, B. Ramaraju, former managing director, hide the deception from the company's senior managers. Now, Srinivasan Vadlamini was the company's head of internal audit. He has had to show the path of fraud to their auditors, CFOs. Chief CFO means Chief Financial Officer on criminal charges of fraud. PwC, Price Waterhouse Coopers, a global auditing firm. They used to maintain the balance sheet of the company, which was 50 years. Now coming to the victims.
Sorry to interrupt.
Employees.
You have only 2 more minutes. Your time is about to get over. 2 more minutes.
Okay, ma'am. Employees of Satyam, as they face non-payments of salaries and project cancellation. Now clients of Satyam express loss of trust and preferring to go other competitors. Shareholders lost their valuable investment and had to bear the loss. Now bankers were concerned about recovery of financial and non-financial exposures and recalled facilities. Now Indian government was worried about its image of the nation and IT sector affecting states to invest on it. and to do the business in the country. Now the charges. CBI court sentenced B. Ramalinga Raju and his brother and 7 others who were involved in the scandal to 7 years of prison in Satyam case and professional misconduct. The Institute of Chartered Accountant of India (ICAI) has found Satyam former CFOs and PwC's auditors found guilty of professional misconduct. Uh, and the last is charges. The court also imposed a fine on Mr. Raju and his brother and also the remaining accused. The criminal charges were brought against Mr. Raju, including criminal conspiracy, breach of trust, and forgery. There were also several civil charges filed in the US against Satyam by the holder of its ADS. Now, I would like to call Rishabh to continue further.
Thank you, Niket. Now, I would like to discuss the corporate governance of Satyam. So, first, what is corporate governance? Corporate governance is a system of rules, practice, and process that are used by a corporation to direct and control its action. Basically, it holds a balance between economic and social goals and between individual and commercial goals. Now, issues of corporate governance. There were many issues of corporate governance at Satyam, from which I would like to discuss on the following points. And my first point is shareholders' right. Shareholders' rules and rights is subject of particular importance. They should be informed about all those information which influence their amount of investment. Their shareholders expects transparent dealing in an organization. They even have the right to get the financial report and recordings. But in the case of Satyam, the above obligations were never fulfilled. The acquisition of Mehta's infrastructures and Mehta's properties were announced without the consent of shareholder. In fact, falsified documents and inflated financial reports were also delivered to them, so they were at loss and felt cheated. My next point is duties of boards of director. It is the duty of board of directors to oversee the function of the organization and also ensures that it continues to operate in the best interest of all shareholders. But here the board was not actively monitoring Satyam, and additional to this, the board of directors did not consent about the knowledge that Mr. Raju decreased the holding of Satyam over the 3 years leading up the disclosure of fraud. Furthermore, the board does not arrange the regular meeting in order to consider the organization activities. And the last one is reliability of financial reporting. Financial reportings and auditing issues are seen more critical to corporate governance by the investor because their main consideration is ensuring management accountability. But in the case of Satyam, financial irregularities were ignored by all the levels of auditing. If we talk about or external auditors, which were headed by PwC, if a company claims it has a huge cash on its hand, then auditors should check whether the cash in hand is available or not. But even PwC here did not perform this for even a large sum of 5,040 crore rupees. And if we talk about board's audit committee, boards had to ensure that there is no kind of fraud existed in the company. But here the audit committee of Satyam failed to detect any manipulation in the account. Thank you.